I got Steve and Dave from the Falling Birds in the studio. Let's test out these microphones, guys. Go ahead.
Check one.
Oh, yeah, sounds so good.
Check.
How are you guys?
Good, man. How are you, Adam?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, recovering. You know? Winter is coming, so to speak. So
first cold of the season.
Yeah, right. So last time I saw you guys, I strangely enough won tickets to go see your show at the Radio Free Brooklyn benefit.
Yeah.
What was the name of that place? Like Studio 11? Or?
Unit J.
Unit J. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that was a cool show. It was, you guys were like kind of the rockinest guys on the bill, if you don't mind me saying.
Thank you. I'll take that. That's a great compliment, man.
Now, we were talking before I came on. The last time you were here was like almost exactly a year ago this week.
Yeah.
And you guys were just getting ready to leave on tour in the UK.
Yeah.
So before we talk about the new record and all that kind of stuff, what was it like? How's the last year been? What have you been up to?
The last year has been awesome. The UK was amazing. They're just avid new music fans. I mean, they come out, they support, you know, even if they've never heard of your band, they're like, all right, let me check this band out, you know.
There's nothing else doing, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, there's stuff going on, but they're like, they've got a great scene over there. And then, but they're, you know, in the US, I think people are a little bit more like, why should I check this band out?
Right,
and in the UK, they're like, why shouldn't I check this band out?
Right. Okay, that's cool, man. And so you got a good reception. You did what, like about half a dozen dates, something like that?
Yeah, we did like 6 or 7 and some radio performances and some stuff like that.
That's great, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what else has been going on? Now you got back. That takes us up to the holidays.
Yeah. So then it was we got back. We did South by Southwest, some unofficial dates over there.
Very cool.
We went up. We did a festival in my hometown, Albany.
Yeah, that was cool.
Put out an official video.
I saw that from My Girl, right? Which we'll play later.
Yeah. We did that. It's just been busy going. We went up to Canada. We did a few dates up there. It's been a busy time, man.
We had the Northside Festival.
Oh yeah, and
did you guys do Northside too?
Yeah, we did Northside, and then we recorded a new record.
And then so about the new record.
Yeah.
So I have to. You never really had a third member, but you kind of had a third member.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've kind of been back and forth for a long time with having a bass player, having that said bass player join another band or something. So.
All right. I see. We'll skip over that part then. So how's life as a duo been going?
It's good. It's cool. It's I don't know. It's interesting because it's limiting from a songwriting perspective, and then it sort of challenges you to be more, I think, creative, and you got to kind of plan things out a little bit more.
Okay.
You know, which I think is really interesting. But then on the flip side of that, it allows us to do more improvisational stuff.
Yeah, be a little more like loose with the arrangements, so to speak.
Yeah,
especially live too, I imagine. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
Because we can just change things on a dime.
Yeah.
As a duo, which is a little bit harder the bigger the band gets.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Well, and you can kind of set up shop anywhere too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if you were on your European tour and you get stuck in, London somewhere, you're like, well, we don't have any money for the bus to wherever, so let's just busk on the corner over here.
Yeah.
we'll be okay for a minute.
All right.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you about the video. So, it's a pretty epic song. It's one of your longer songs.
Mm-hmm.
Classic rock and roll love song, and the video is really interesting because it shows kind of a bunch of different couples in different stages of life and that kind of thing. Did you come up with the concept for that, or did you work with like a group of people to kind of come up with that as well, or how did that work?
Yeah, we worked with a group of people to come up with it. We've got some friends here in Brooklyn that have a production company.
Okay.
And
they were at the show, weren't they?
Yeah, they were at the show.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. April and Summer, and they we were working with them to come up with some cool concepts, and we wanted to do a storyline type video.
Yeah.
We didn't want it to just be us sitting there,
like 4.5 minutes of you guys in one spot.
Yeah, my mug on the on the TV. So we wanted a storyline, and we kind of came up with that one, and we thought it was real cool, and had a little back and forth, and they did a great job.
And how long overall did that? Because I know there's like videos are kind of. It seems like videos on the independent level are kind of coming back.
Yeah.
Like bands will be like, we made a music video, and like you can just do it on your own because you can do it on a laptop now.
Yeah.
I mean, how long did that process take?
Filming was 2 days.
Yeah, probably 2 days. But April and Summer, they're so good at what they do. Every shot was planned out. They were really efficient with everything. They took care of the casting, the location. They did a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
What's the name of their production company? Just give them the plug.
April Summer Films.
Oh, I see.
Is the
simple.
Yeah.
That's good. Brevity's the soul of wit, they say.
Right? Yeah. It was awesome. I mean, the process was longer, right? Because then there was editing and there was coming up with the concept and all that stuff. But the actual filming was 2 days.
Okay, very cool, man. Very cool. And then we'll talk about the album after the next break, I guess. But
okay.
You got a new website too. It's still thefallingbirds.com, but you had that kind of reworked. And just so people know, thefallingbirds.com, you can find the videos there. You can buy the new music there. There's a single from the new record on there.
That's just a single.
Just a one shot?
Yeah.
Okay, you can get that right now. All the little things are adding up. I played that on the big 200th episode a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then what else can people, like, is it tour dates and things like that?
Yeah, so if you go on there, you'll see all the shows. We've got shows coming up here in Brooklyn, which I guess we're going to get to on Wednesday. We've got stuff coming up in Massachusetts, Asbury Park, New Jersey. We're going up to Ottawa. And then we're going to be filling in some dates.
Yeah, you're going to be driving all over the damn place.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so you can check out the tour dates. We're supposed to get our merch up there soon. I think that's been coming soon for like a year, but
that's the hardest part, man.
Yeah, once our machine gets going,
then you gotta mail stuff to people, right?
We'll put our people on it.
Yeah, right. we got the team on it right now. So I want to play a couple of songs by the guys that'll be at the event on Wednesday at Good Room. It's you guys. It's a band called Winston's, not the Winstons, just Winston's. Casey Hopkins duo or trio, depending on how many people he has there with him.
We feel that, right?
Yeah. And another band called Sun Abduction. I'm gonna play. I gave the choice to you, so we're gonna play something by Casey Hopkins.
Yeah.
And you're listening to B-Box Radio, Affinity Radio. I'm here with the Falling Birds. They've got some gigs coming up that we're gonna talk about, and they got a new album coming soon that we'll talk about after the break. My name is Adam. This is the Old Time Religion Radio Hour. See you in just a minute.
Old Time Religion.
All right, that was Danova with their song, I don't know how to pronounce this, Unonus, off the album of the same name. Riding Easy Records reissued that last year. It's a pretty rockin' tune. Before that, we had Jimi Hendrix. That was Little Wing, right? That was the one. That was the one that Steve picked. And then right before that, we had a couple songs from the Casey Hopkins duo, which may or may not be a trio on Wednesday at Good Room. And so I'm here with the Falling Birds, Steve and Dave. Hey guys.
Hey.
Nice to have you back. You're listening to B-Box Radio, Affinity Radio, by the way. We were just talking about kind of what you've been up to over the last year and what it's like to make a music video. And why don't you guys tell me what you're allowing yourself to get out in public about the new album?
All right. So the new album, it's EP. It's called What Is There to Talk About?
Okay.
And it's 4 tracks. Some are really rockin', and some are a little chill.
Okay.
And
you guys are keeping it close to the vest.
yeah,
it's an experience.
it's a walk through many emotions.
All right. Well, so tell me, because last time we got together, we kind of talked about, we were talking about the EP, the We All Fall Down EP, and you kind of hinted at the time that you were already working on this EP.
Yeah.
When you had released the other one. So tell me what the process, because you said it was a little different when we talked the other day. Before, your bass player at the time was like your engineer.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And, was there a difference between recording this record and recording the last record?
Yeah, so this record is our first time in a real studio with a,
not a basement somewhere.
Yeah, not our basement, which is really cool. Is a different experience, and the last record was fun. It was awesome. We learned so much recording on our own. That's not my cup of tea.
Fair enough,
but
yeah.
I learned a lot from our guy who engineered it, Nick, and so that was awesome. And then, but this time we go into the studio and we're just prepared to just play,
Okay.
and just be musicians in the studio, which was awesome.
And what's the work up to that? What's that like working up to it? Do you? Because we were just talking about kind of how when you go into a studio, you want to be prepared. Did you play to like a click track? Did you practice like for 10 hours before you went in? Like, how does it work? What do you guys?
Yeah,
what's your method?
we practiced for months, months and months, but definitely never to a click. It's just not really our style so much.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, it's a lot of practice. If you don't go into the studio knowing everything, back and front, hands down, eyes closed, then you're wasting everyone's time, and you're not going to get a good product.
Well, you're wasting your own money too.
And
really,
yes,
when it comes to
and money.
Yeah, we kind of have a theory. We don't play to a click because our music slides around a lot.
Yeah.
Like we'll play with tempos, and so we don't try to. And I sort of accidentally write that way too. Like
Okay.
Dave's a timing guy, right? So he's a drummer, and so I'll be writing a song. I'll be like, no, man, it's the chorus goes like this, and he'd be like, you're changing up the tempo of the song. And I'm like, oh, am I? But
come back to earth, Steve.
Yeah.
Come back to earth.
Yeah, so we when we prepare, I mean we came in ready and ready to go and ready to record, but we also kind of want to give the track some sense of kind of live feel too.
Okay.
So we don't want to get too far away from what we feel like on stage.
And what was it like working with a producer? And first of all, what was the name of the studio and who was the producer?
Speaker Sonic.
Okay.
Studios out in originally in Brooklyn, and they just recently moved out to Ridgewood in Queens.
Okay.
And Brian Speaker is the guy that was producing us. So he's co-producer on the record. It was awesome. It's good to have somebody that we can bounce ideas off of and get some feedback. And
was there like a mutual respect, or like what did he like? How was it when you walked in? Was he like, "This is the way we're doing this"?
No, not at all. He actually saw us. We played Mercury Lounge.
Okay, cool.
A while back, and he was there and reached out to us. He was like, "Hey, really dig what your sound was." And then I was looking into the people that he's worked with, like the Femdoms and some of these other bands out there that are just rocking. And I thought his stuff was great, so I was like, "Yeah, let's talk." And he thought we were stringing him along for the longest. So I'm sorry, Brian. I'm really, really sorry, because we just had so much stuff lined up. We were going to England, and then we were doing South by, and it was like we were supposed to record this record in the early part of this year, like January of this year, and it kept getting pushed back. And so he just thought we were flakes and we were blowing him off. And then finally I wound up, calling him and being like, "Okay, let's book it." And he was like,
"That's awesome."
He's like, "Oh,
well, one thing that
you were jerking me."
One thing that my compatriot Matt from the Rodent Hour and I talk about is your guys' work ethic. So there's so many bands out there that are like, "I'm just gonna play the music," and sorry everybody that I'm doing an impression of right now, but I'm just gonna play the music and that's gonna take us where we need to go, and it's like, no, you gotta do this minute detailed work that's a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And Matt and I really admire that you guys do that work. And so when you're talking about it kept getting pushed back, I'm picturing you being like, "Yeah, we got to get the money together. Jesus Christ."
Yeah.
It's like you got to do shows, you got to sell merch, you got to do all this stuff to get the money together to record. Mm-hmm. And a lot of bands don't think about that kind of stuff. And it's cool. So where do you think that ethic came from? Did you just kind of figure that out on your own, or?
It came from my parents.
Fair enough.
I mean, they're hardworking people.
You think growing up in Albany, kind of the working class town, that kind of had a lot to do with that, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nothing really gets handed to you, so it's like, especially this kind of stuff. Like where I grew up, it was like, you don't ever think you're gonna record something and it gets picked up, on Twitter, and then all of a sudden you're going to a foreign country to tour and stuff like that.
You think Tall Boys and a couch in the garage is where it's going to end?
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff just doesn't, it doesn't seem like it happens, around where I grew up. So I don't know. It's so you want it to happen, you got to kind of get out there and work at it. So
My dad
think
grew
that
up
had a
as a
lot.
poor farmer, and he said the same thing. He's like, if we wanted something, we had to make it.
Yeah.
You know, we made it or grew it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good. I think that's a good ethic. It's a work ethic. It doesn't. I don't see it around a lot anymore.
Yeah.
But again, I'm in New York City, so where am I going to see it? But when is the album coming out?
I think we're gonna release it in February. Keep in touch with us through our email list though for that, which is on the
You were very big on the email list because it is really the best way to keep in touch with people.
Absolutely.
For sure. So, and I know like different record labels and stuff that I follow. I'm like, oh, the mailing list, the email came, you know, and you get deals and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no.
Off on a tangent there. I am going to queue up another song from one of the bands that's going to be there on Wednesday night. Do you want to run through the details real quick for what's going on Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday it's going to be at the Good Room, which is in Greenpoint. So doors are at 8:00.
Yeah.
We're on at 8:30. I forget the exact
I think
arrangement of the lineup.
Winston's are up after you, and then Sun Abduction, and then the headliner is Casey Hopkins. We're going to play one now from Sun Abduction called New Blues. So I'm on air with the Falling Birds. We're going to talk more about that gig in a minute, and I will be there as well. That'll be fun. This is called New Blues by Sun Abduction from here in Brooklyn, New York. My guests are the Falling Birds. You're listening to B-Box Radio, Affinity Radio. This is the Old Time Religion Radio Hour.
Give that old time religion.
All right, that was Coal Mine by Winston's. The Falling Birds will be appearing with them at Garageland BK at Good Room in Greenpoint coming up this Wednesday. I will be there as well, as long as some other bands, Sun Abduction and the Casey Hopkins Trio will be capping off the whole night. So we've been talking about your label. We've been talking about your album coming out. Talk about what you guys have been up to. What's coming up besides the show on Wednesday, which we'll give out the details, of course, 10 times again. But what are you up to? What's in the future after this album comes out, or even the near future?
The little later near future after Wednesday. We're in November. We're gonna head out to New Jersey, go to Asbury Park. That'll be our first time out there, so we're pretty excited about that.
Is that what is as I've heard a lot about it, but as a non-native,
It's just it's a great music town out in New Jersey. You know, kind of the old Bruce Springsteen stomping grounds kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, and
a lot of faded denim.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way to go. Right on.
Yeah.
We'll have a red bandana in our back pockets.
Of course. One in each back pocket. That's the way. Double up.
Yeah,
Totally.
we got the Good Room coming up. Obviously, that's on the 12th. Then we're playing Starlight in Southbridge, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's Friday, November 18th. And then we got the Saint in December. That's December 28th. And then we're up in Ottawa on January 7th. That's a Saturday. So
That'll be a cold one.
Now, Ottawa, is that... Because I get confused with Canadian geography.
Yeah.
So there's... Toronto is right up there, too. Right?
Toronto's up there. I think it's like 240 kilometers away.
We did that drive once last year. We drove from the city to Ottawa to Toronto back to the city, which is basically this gigantic triangle.
Okay.
And we used handheld road maps.
Whoa.
I don't know anyone
some
who's
wicked
done that
analog
for
shit,
a while.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't
Throwback.
think forward enough to like get the data plan in Canada.
Right.
So we were stuck with a real roadmap, which actually I suggest people do.
People have gotten around for years. My father-in-law is always like this. He's like, I used to remember where everything was. Now I have the phone. I can't remember fucking anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's taking away part of our brain.
Totally. You lose your spatial orientation. So people
can't
get back
remember
on,
photos
get back analog.
Yeah, get the map out. Get a crayon.
That's right.
Draw the path.
Right.
Find your own way.
It falls into our ethos because we don't have like a computer playing
Backing tracks
like
and
guitars and stuff behind us and piano. I went to South by Southwest and I saw all these bands and like everybody's. I mean, I'll dog them. All these bands are playing like with backing tracks and.
Oh yeah, and I've seen it before. Like there was, I saw a band like that a couple weeks ago, but I remember it was 10, 11 years ago. I was playing in a band and we all went to this club and this guy came out and two of the guys had Mac laptops on stage.
Yeah.
And like that was their instrument, was a Mac laptop, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
no, don't play it. You're not a rock band. Don't do that.
And when I was there, one of the bands, I won't say which band, but one of the bands, they kept apologizing because the computer didn't work. And they were like, I'm really sorry, everybody. And I thought it sounded, actually they were a good band. I thought it sounded good without the stupid computer playing. Just keep on playing.
I didn't clear my cache first.
Yeah, I was like,
God damn it.
I was like, oh, is everybody doing this? But we're not going to do it, people. You heard it here.
Good. All analog.
Analog.
All analog. The Falling Birds.
Yeah.
That's going to be the next album, just all analog.
Just handheld roadmaps.
So that's November. And then are you going to do, what are your plans for when the record comes out? You're just going to play a shit ton of shows, or are you going to...
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, we're gonna promote it, get it out there, and the idea is just to fill up as many dates as we can possibly do, and get out to as many cities as possible. East Coast stuff.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. That's gonna be a lot of fun. So you're looking for like February. Let's go ahead and because we got a lot more time than I thought we were gonna have, because I always do this. But remember we were gonna talk about Madonna last time. So, all right, let's do this. We'll spend a couple minutes doing this. What are you right now? What's in your CD player, your record player, or whatever? What should people be checking out besides the Falling Birds? It could be locally, it could be nationally. What is it?
I thought you might ask me this question.
Ooh, see? Birds
I'm
of a feather.
Yeah. Well, I'm a huge fan of Shovels and Rope. Those guys.
I've heard, again, there's so many bands. It's a full-time job keeping track of new music.
Yeah, it really is. There's so much good stuff out there now.
So Shovels and Rope, what are they
Shovels and Rope, I think they're out of Charleston. They're
Wait, are they like a heavier band?
No, they're kind of like they're a duo.
Okay.
Duo love.
Doing your research.
Yeah, it's a husband and wife team, and they just have really tight vocal harmonies, and they just write really good kind of catchy songs. So they're really cool. I'm big into them. Who else am I listening to these days? Cousins. I like Cousins.
Okay. What's that about?
They're just like a garagey band. I think they're also a duo.
Steve.
Whoa.
Steve.
I think they are. Yeah.
We need to get a bass player.
He just put bass players out of his life altogether.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, bass players.
And Dave, what about you? What are you hanging on to right now?
I mean, I go through these weird phases where I'll just hang on either a specific song or a genre,
Sure,
and just beat it to death.
So you're talking like what, Sugar Ray 1998 stuff?
Totally. Yeah, it's just Gin Blossoms all day, every day.
I wish I was at the beach right now.
All right, let's see. There was a little save there with the Gin Blossoms from Sugar Ray.
Yeah, I think I listened to the Strokes for about a month straight recently, and then now I've just been straight jazz.
Old Strokes or New Strokes?
Old
Strokes.
No,
the New Strokes sounds just like the Old Strokes.
Yeah, it's comforting. Yeah, I went from that and then to 1930s jazz.
Really?
And only that.
For a drummer, I feel like that's like a master class.
Oh yeah, I can't get anywhere close to those guys.
So what's the one that really it gives you a hard on for jazz right now? What's the record?
I mean, Billie Holiday is my girl.
Yeah.
I love her. She's the best. Cool. Except for Ella. But yeah, lots of jazz, which is a nice compliment to when we come in and we practice a lot. We're at least 2 days a week plus shows plus everything else. So we do. We're kind of going more towards our grungier side with this new record that's coming out.
Okay.
So I like to have the balance when I'm at home. Keeps me sane.
Well, and I've said this a million times on this show before, but Chris Cornell always said when he's in Soundgarden that rock music that was just inspired by other rock music was the most boring possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
rock music.
totally.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the cool part about
it's good to have variety.
Steven and I. Yeah, it's when we're at home, we sometimes listen to wildly different things.
Yeah.
And it leads to cool experimentation in the studio.
I intentionally don't listen to music that sounds like us.
That's smart.
Because
I remember you were stumping for this guy Joe
Pug.
Joe Pug.
Yeah.
And so after you were on the show last time, I went and I looked him up, and it's like it's like super unique folk. Like, it's not, because my wife listens to nothing but folk music, so I'm kind of, most of the time I'm like, oh god, more folk music. But I heard him and I was like, whoa, that's really like very different, very raw.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And like almost like even though it's like beautiful music, it almost makes you uneasy.
Yeah.
You know.
He's
but it
great.
couldn't be further from what you're doing, like in terms of like overall ambience. You know.
Well, I think from a writing perspective, I like to listen and take in a lot of folk type music and stuff like that, and I just put my own kind of spin on it and touch on it. Like I listen to Joe Pug all the time. I mean, those records are just awesome. The Nation of Heat EP is like the best. It's probably one of my top 10 all time records. But like, listen to that. I actually found him because Raylan Baxter, that guy.
I don't.
Out of Nashville.
Yeah.
Well, when that album came out, when that Nation of Heat EP came out, Raylan was sleeping over at my place while he was playing in New York. He opened for Joe Pug, and I was like, oh my! I saw him live. I was like, wow, this guy is awesome. So, but yeah, you take that kind of, take stuff that's not in your genre and just spin it. It's fun.
Yeah, I can run with it. Now, we got a couple minutes left, so let's do one last thing before we do all the plug for the new show. Real quick, favorite band locally right now that people need to check out, besides, of course, the Falling Birds.
Favorite local band? Well, our buddies the Yatones are killing it right now.
Yeah, for sure.
YEAH Tones?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're good. We've done a few shows with them. I'm actually, just through this show, I found the Winstons. I'm really digging them. Really digging the Winstons too.
What about you, Dave?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Yatones. We played a few shows with them recently.
Yeah.
Super cool dudes.
Just fucking killing it.
Yeah, I dig
That's
it.
awesome.
I dig it.
All right.
It's a great time every time.
Let's plug Mr. Tommy James in Good Room real quick. Get that out of
Yeah.
the way. I'm plugging this show so much because I will be there as well, spinning records between all you guys, and I'm very excited. So if you've been listening to the show and you're in the New York area and you want to come see what the hell I'm about and get all the awkwardness in real life in the show experience, come out to Good Room. I have all the info here at 98 Messerole Avenue. It's corner of Messerole and Manhattan Avenue up in Greenpoint. Take the G to Nassau and walk a bit. It's in between the TD Bank and the police station.
Oh,
Yeah, so you're safe.
it's
So,
a
you know,
one-stop shop.
Yeah, if shit goes down, you got somewhere to go. Doors are at 8. It's this Wednesday, October 12th. The Falling Birds going first, Winston, Sun Abduction, and the Casey Hopkins Trio. Go to otrrh.com, and I've got all the listing up there, links to all the bands, so you can listen before you decide to come out and get the awesomeness. Tickets are $5 ahead of time if you go to Ticketfly. That link is also up on my site. $7 at the door. So save the money, man.
That's
Order
a good
online.
deal.
Yeah, right. And you guys want to give your info real quick? We got about a minute left.
Yeah, check us out at thefallingbirds.com. All of our info is there. You can sign up for our email list and get updates. We also send out free tracks from time to time. So it's a little special bonus. So do that. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and beyond that, we don't have any time for YouTube.
I
Spotify.
understand. Well, thank you guys for coming out again. I'm excited to see you again this week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And keep in touch. And you guys check out the Falling Birds. Make sure that you're checking out and looking out for their new record. I'm going to end the show with the video from the song from the video. This is My Girl by the Falling Birds. My name is Adam. B-Box
Thanks for
Radio.
having us.
Hey, anytime, guys.
Thank you.
B-Box Radio, Affinity Radio. Check us out Tuesdays at 10 p.m. on Affinity and every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. on B-Box Radio. The Falling Birds, My Girl. See you next week.